Hello, PPR investors. My name is Jalen West, and I'm the Senior Marketing Manager here at PPR Capital Management. Today, I have the pleasure of sitting down with Stefani Baker, a key member of the Investor Relations team. Since joining the firm, she's brought a high level of professionalism and care to every investor interaction, and recently stepped into the role of Relationship Manager. With a background in wealth management and degree in marketing from Florida Atlantic University, Stefani brings both experience and a sense of warmth to her work here at PPR. Thanks for sitting down, Stefani. I'm excited for investors to learn a little more about you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Stefani, so you began here at PPR as an administrative assistant back in 2022, and recently stepped into the role, as I mentioned, of relationship manager. What has been the most rewarding part about your career journey here at PPR?
Yeah, well, I think personally I'm definitely a helper. I like to, have solutions to problems, both, personal life and professionally. So, being in an administrative role here at PPR where I began, it was, getting to know investors, how, the types of things they might have questions about, getting through paperwork, answering questions. And now that I've shifted into a different role, which is, the relationship side of things and, learning more about our investors' needs, we get to be part of a solution for our investors. When they come to us, there's a financial need of some sort. Are we retiring and we need to replace income, or are we looking to retire early? I think that's everyone's goal, right? Or even saving for a future expense like college for, your children or your grandchildren. We're a solution for people. They've come to us with, with some sort of problem or an opportunity, and we can, fit the bill for them. So I think that's the most rewarding, just being a part of, someone's investment journey, making their lives comfortable by being, an investor and getting a consistent return from PPR. So yeah, I mean, having my personal background in, hospitality for many years as a teenager and all through college, I think that kind of, develop my interpersonal skills, and it helps me to anticipate needs and, have a great conversation and, overall build trust. I mean, if you don't trust the people you're investing with, that's never a good thing.
And it sounds like it's really about listening to that investor, and, looking to solve a solution, solve a problem, providing a solution versus just pushing a product.
Correct. Yeah, we don't pay a dividend, and we have investors who I think have been with us for what, the entire
Yeah,
time
almost two
we've
decades.
been
Yeah.
operating, which is a huge testament to us as a firm and the value that we provide to the investors.
And then I guess next thing I want to hop into, Stephanie, as we scale the firm here, more clients, more emails, more day-to-day work. How have you found a way to maintain that high level of touch and personalization to your work while still, managing the workload?
Yeah, well, I think, continued communication is always key for investors, and that's being regular. And we do that as a firm. Everyone knows they get their Saturday newsletters or important, emails from us pertinent to the fund. But for us personally, as relationship managers, our our drive is to have at least an annual meeting with all of our investors just to touch base and check in and see, do you have any upcoming, changes in your life? Is there anything that PPR can be doing to assist you better? Questions, personalized help with, an investor portal when, you might not be able to find something. I think being available, knowing you can call our 877 number and you get a live person on the phone. I think all of that's really important, to let our investors know that we're truly here for them and they're not just numbers in a fund receiving a dividend, like you said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and some investors will call that 877 number just to chat,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
Which we love.
Yeah, we love that.
And I think, what comes from that, or, what I see personally is that, the biggest compliment we can get is a referral.
Yep.
So that's someone who's having success in our fund, and, finances are tough to talk about with your peers or family members. So saying, I've had success here, I like this company, you can check them out, I think they'll help you. That's truly, to me, the biggest compliment we can get.
Yeah, it definitely is when someone has that trust and confidence in you to pass along your card to someone else.
Yeah.
Definitely. Now, part of our core mission here at PPR, always try to emphasize strong returns, obviously, for our investors. We also try to have a community impact along with that as well. How does your role support that, and what does that mean to you personally?
Yeah, well, firstly, being a part of investor relations, obviously, I'm directly involved in capital raise. So without us, meeting with investors, meeting with new investors, raising capital, that our fund managers need the purchasing power to go out and do these affordable housing deals in, Austin, or build to rent. We're part of the solution and not part of the housing crisis problem. Which personally for me, I'm a millennial, and plenty of my peers are still stuck in the cycle of renting, until we can, find the right house, or if prices come down a little. So, I think that keeping people in their homes through the note modifications on the mortgage side. It's all, possible because we raise capital, that helps our fund managers do their deals and, overall helps the, nationwide housing problem that we have.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with that. I think our firm, we look at the housing problem through a slightly different lens, and I feel like the rest of the industry, we're there as a solution, not furthering the problem.
Correct.
Now, in your role, Stephanie, you deal with both longtime investors and new investors. What do you do, or what do you think sets apart the PPR investment process from the rest of the industry?
Yeah, well, I personally am very passionate about the white glove service, and so is the rest of the team. So when I started as an administrator, that was, helping new investors through the investment process, taking those phone calls when we have questions about where to find our K1s or things, being available and providing that top-notch customer service. I think new investors learn it in the beginning. Longtime investors have been receiving it, the entire time they've been with us. And again, it just creates an overall total value, not only for the investors, but for us, at PPR. It's nice when we have a holiday party or we get on the road and go meet with clients and they say, oh, we so appreciate, what you do for us and thank you. And that's really just part of what, our mission is, in investor relations. We're helpful people. We want to see our investors, be successful, and white glove service is truly at top of mind. It helps us keep our investors at top of mind because there is no PPR without our investors.
Yeah, they are a core part of the flywheel here, and it's important that we keep them happy.
Correct.
Now, looking forward, Stephanie, we're in a growing industry, we're in a growing firm. What gets you excited about coming here every day?
Well, many things, Jalen. I have, on a personal level, we have a great team, the investor relations team. I think we're very understanding of what investors need, and we work together to, make sure everybody is taken care of. But I do have to say, for me, it's a lot of the education that, we're provided at PPR. It helps me do my job, which is being transparent with investors and answering questions. I don't know many people in my peer class who can say that their chief investment officer teaches them portfolio management theory. These are added values that PPR gives to us without us having to spend money out of our pockets to go back to school. And it truly helps us educate our investors, which, is part of the circle. They need to know, what's going on in the fund, and we're the ones that have to tell them. So again, being the liaison between PPR and, our investors, I think, having us be as educated as we can possibly be in investor relations is really important. And I'm excited for more of that as we go forward.
So, Stephanie, you've been here for a while, and the team's gotten to know you pretty well. What's something that people wouldn't know about you?
It's always a tough question to be asked on the spot. Let's see. I was first chair alto saxophone all through high school, and I was part of the pep band.
Oh, professional musician.
Professional musician until 17. Yes.
There you go. Yeah, and I think we're excited to see you grow here, Stephanie. The past 3 years has been great, but I'm excited for the next 3. So.
Likewise.
Yeah, thanks for sitting down.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.